Your baby has been asleep in the crib for 20 minutes, perfectly, peacefully, and then you move. You get up carefully, inch by inch, trying not to make a sound, and in the exact moment, your body stops being in contact with theirs. The eyes open. The crying starts. You have tried everything, the most expensive crib on the market, the orthopedic pillow, the music with whale sounds, the pacifier, the stuffed animal. And none of those things work the same way as one single thing. You. But not exactly you. You, even when you are not there. There is something babies do that most parents notice, laugh about, and never think about again. They look for your clothes. They cling to the shirt you are wearing. They sleep better on your pillow than on their own. They calm down when you put something nearby that smells like you, even when you are not in the room. What is really going on there? Because what looks like an adorable little quirk is, in reality, one of the most sophisticated survival mechanisms that exists in human biology. And understanding it is going to completely change the way you see your baby. Welcome to Silent Baby Mind. Subscribe right now, because what you are about to learn today will permanently change the way you look at your child. Let's begin. When a baby is born, they arrive in a world that is visually chaotic. Their visual system takes weeks to start focusing clearly. During the first days, faces are blurry smudges, distances do not exist, light hurts, but smell is a different story. The olfactory system is one of the first to develop completely during gestation. A newborn baby already has a fully functioning sense of smell from the very first second outside the womb. And it is not just any sense of smell, it is a sense of smell calibrated specifically to detect and recognize their mother, and to a lesser extent, their father, and the people who care for them closely. Studies conducted with newborns show something that seems almost unbelievable. A baby just 2 days old is capable of distinguishing the smell of their own mother's milk from the smell of another woman's milk. Not through learning, not through experience, through pure biological instinct. But there is something even more surprising. The recognition of the mother's smell does not begin at birth. It begins before. During the 3rd trimester of pregnancy, the fetus is already exposed to amniotic fluid, which carries chemical components from the mother's body. That smell is the first thing the baby learns. It is the first language they ever know. So when your baby is born and searches for your smell, they are not discovering something new. They are reconnecting with something they already know, with the only familiar thing in a world that, to them, is completely unknown. There is something that infant sleep experts have been recommending for decades and that many parents discover by accident before anyone tells them. Put something nearby that smells like you. A shirt you wore that day, an unwashed piece of clothing, something that carries your smell in a concentrated way. And it works. Not always, not like magic, but it works with a consistency that alternative methods simply do not have. Why? Because for your baby, your smell is not just a pleasant sensation, it is information. It is the most reliable signal their nervous system has that they are safe. Think about it from their perspective. Your baby does not understand language. They do not understand time. They do not comprehend that you went to the bathroom for a moment or that you will be back in 5 minutes. What they do understand, what their brain, primitive and extraordinarily sophisticated at the same time, processes constantly, is a very simple question. Is my caregiver nearby? And smell is the fastest and most reliable way to answer that question. When your baby detects your smell, their nervous system receives a direct signal. There's a trusted adult in the environment. There is no danger. I can relax. I can sleep. When that smell disappears, the signal changes. The alarm system activates. And the crying, which to many parents seems irrational or exaggerated, is actually the most logical response in the world from an evolutionary standpoint. It is a baby telling their caregiver, through the only communication channel available to them, "I need to know you are there." Here is something important to say, because it is one of the most common and most damaging misunderstandings that exists around parenting. When a baby cries every time you walk away, when they only calm down in your arms, when they cannot sleep without smelling your presence nearby, there's a very widespread cultural tendency to call that a bad habit. You are spoiling them. You are creating dependency. You need to teach them to be alone. And while there are important nuances in that conversation that depend on age and context, there is something science says quite clearly. In the first months of life, that need for closeness is not a whim. It is not manipulation. It is not a bad habit you are creating. It is the expression of a biological system functioning exactly as it should. Human beings are what researchers call an altricial species. We are born in a state of extreme immaturity compared to most mammals. A foal can walk hours after being born. A human baby takes more than a year to take their first steps. That immaturity is not a design flaw. It is a consequence of the size of our brain, which needs to grow outside the womb because there is no longer enough room inside. But that immaturity has a cost. It makes the human baby completely incapable of surviving alone. Not for hours, not for minutes, at all. And their nervous system knows it. That is why the brain of a newborn is literally programmed to maintain closeness with their caregiver at any cost. The crying, the searching for smell, the physical clinging, the inability to calm down away from whoever cares for them, all of that is survival equipment. When your baby searches for your smell to fall asleep, they are not being difficult. They are being exactly what evolution designed them to be. There is a moment that almost every parent describes the same way. You're carrying the baby in your arms, they are crying, and suddenly you bring them close to your chest, and within seconds, the crying fades. The breathing steadies. The body goes loose. The eyes close. It seems like magic. It is not. It is chemistry. When a baby smells their attachment figure, their brain releases oxytocin. Oxytocin is a hormone that regulates social bonding, reduces stress, decreases activity in the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that processes fear and activates the calming system of the autonomic nervous system. In simple terms, your smell tells your baby's brain that it can stop being on alert, that it can lower its defenses, that the world is safe. And this is not just an emotional effect, it is physiological, measurable. Studies that have analyzed cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone, in babies exposed to their mother's smell compared to babies in similar situations without that stimulus, show significant differences. Babies who have access to the smell of their primary caregiver show shorter, milder stress responses and recover faster. Your smell does not just emotionally soothe your baby. It helps them regulate their nervous system in a completely physical sense. It helps them maintain a more stable heart rate, more regular breathing, deeper sleep. That shirt of yours you left in the crib is not a trick. It is a neurological regulation tool. There is something that attachment researchers have documented with remarkable consistency. Smell is not just a channel through which the baby recognizes their caregiver. It is one of the main mechanisms through which the bond is built and consolidated. And it works both ways. When a mother smells her newborn baby, something happens in her brain that is difficult to describe in any way other than as a deep recognition. Research on the neuroscience of maternal attachment has found that the smell of one's own baby activates areas of the mother's brain related to reward and pleasure in a way that is comparatively more intense than visual or auditory stimuli. Smell is the sense of bonding. There is a reason why neonatal care protocols in modern hospitals prioritize skin-to-skin contact immediately after birth. It is not just warmth. It is not just comfort, it is mutual olfactory exposure at the most critical moment for bond formation. It is the baby learning the smell of whoever is going to care for them. And it is the caregiver learning the smell of whoever is going to need their protection. That olfactory exchange in the first hours after birth has documented effects on the quality of the bond that develops in the following months. It is not poetry. It is the biology of attachment. There is something babies do that goes completely unnoticed by most parents because it happens in silence, without drama, in the most ordinary moments. They study you, not with their eyes yet, not at first, but with their smell, with their hearing, with the pressure of your body against theirs. Your baby is building from the very first days a detailed map of you, of how you smell in the morning versus at night, of how your smell changes when you are nervous versus when you are relaxed, of the rhythm of your breathing when you are asleep versus when you are awake and tense. Babies are pattern recognition machines, and the most important pattern they need to learn is you. This has implications that go far beyond sleep. Babies who develop a rich and detailed sensory map of their primary attachment figure during the first months of life show more secure attachment patterns. They cry less when separated because they have internalized the presence of their caregiver in a more complete way. They are able to calm down sooner, even with indirect stimuli like the smell of a piece of clothing, because that smell has already become part of what their brain associates with safety. Your baby does not just recognize you, they have memorized you. And every time they search for something that smells like you, they are drawing on that memory to find calm in a world they do not yet fully understand. Let us bring all the pieces together. Your baby searches for your smell. They cling to your clothes. They sleep better on your pillow. They calm down when you wear a shirt you can then leave nearby. They cry when your presence, even your olfactory presence, disappears from the environment. And all of that, which can feel exhausting, which can make you feel like you cannot step away for even a moment, which sometimes feels like a demand with no end, is actually the clearest and most honest expression of something extraordinary. Your baby has decided that you are their safe place. They have not thought about it. They have not chosen it consciously. Their brain, following millions of years of evolutionary programming, has identified the person whose presence makes the world feel manageable. And they cling to that person, or to any sensory trace of that person, with everything they have. Secure attachment, which is the type of bond that researchers associate with better outcomes in practically every area of development, from emotional health to cognitive performance, from social relationships to resilience under stress. That secure attachment is built exactly in these moments. In the times you respond. In the times you come back. In the times you leave something that smells like you, so the world does not feel so empty when you are gone. You are not creating dependency. You are building the foundation of a person who will, in time, be able to be alone with confidence, because they have learned in the earliest and most fundamental moments of their life that the people who love them come back. The next time your baby clings to your shirt or only falls asleep when they can smell your presence, do not see it as a problem to solve. See it for what it is. It is your baby telling you, in the only way they know how, that for them there is no better place in the world than close to you. If this video changed something in the way you see your child, even just a little, hit like right now, because that tells the algorithm that this content deserves to reach more parents who need it. Subscribe to Silent Baby Mind so you never miss a video, because every week we go deeper into the science behind the things that matter most in raising a child. And leave me a comment below. Does your baby search for your clothes to fall asleep? Tell me how they do it. I love reading every single response.